Okay, in this video we're going to talk about the details of single whip from Yang style Tai Chi. Remember the single whip turns 180 degrees around. So I'm going to do this first of all facing this way and turning to my left across the camera, but I'll show it from other angles as well so you can see. When we begin, we want to make sure we have our feet in the right place. So to get there, we're going to turn the left foot out 45 degrees and shift into the left foot, bring the right foot in close, and then step out with the right foot and make sure that when you do, you've established the channel. So you're not stepping straight down the line, but you have an angle a little bit off to the right as well as forward. And that foot should be pointing straight down the line. So we have a 45-degree angle between the feet and we have our channel. Okay, single whip will begin with your weight in the front leg, about 60 or 70%, and the hips squared up down the line. Your hands will be in this position here, having just finished grasp bird's tail, the withdraw and push part of grasp bird's tail. So your hands will be slightly turned towards each other, but maybe not exactly facing each other, sort of at a 45-ish degree angle slope. Imagine that you're tracing down the sides of a rooftop of a child's drawing of a house. 45-degree triangle. So we're in that position here. What we're first going to do is, the first move is to shift our weight back into the left leg. And as we do that, we're going to allow the right foot, the right toes to come up off the ground. Now, a word about that shifting back. Make sure that it's not sliding straight back like this. You'll be kind of back weighted and on your toes. It's actually sitting down into that leg. So you're going to sink down into the left leg. It's a very different prospect than just sliding back, so it's more there than that way. As you do that, the hands are going to go from this position, pressing down and outward, okay, and kind of leading with the outside edge of the hand and the heel of the hand a little bit, and letting the fingers trail after that, so that they draw this kind of semicircular kind of shape. And so all that happens at the same time, breathing in as you do so. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now then, the next thing that happens is we're going to pull the left hip back, and that's going to turn the whole body. As I'm doing that, I'm closing both hip joints, both quad. The left, in order to keep the knee and toe alignment, I'm closing the hip joint, and the right side, in order to, when I turn the body, I'm closing this so that I can get my foot around 90 degrees, okay? As I'm doing that, right here, I'm not really opening, but maybe a little bit of open in the upper gate, and I'm feeling like I'm leading with my left shoulder, my left elbow, and left hand here, and then cutting in with the yin side of the right arm. Okay, so you want the intention to be on the outside of the left arm, the inside of the right arm. So step one is sit back. Step two is to pull with the left hip. Step three will be to shift from the left foot to the right foot and pull the right hip back. Okay, here, and sit down into that right foot. We want to release the left foot so that I could pick it up. I'm actually sinking down enough into this foot there that I can do that. As we do that, the left hand is going to scoop down like I'm scooping up a big bunch of dried rice from a big bag with my hand, something like that. Okay, so we have 1, 2, pull the left hip. 3, shift and pull the right hip and scoop with the left hand. And I'm bringing the right hand in over the left, so I'm holding the ball. And then 4 is stay in this right leg and pull the left hip back. And that action is going to allow me to turn, and I'm opening the gates to catch this hook, and this left hand raises up. Now, you'll notice a lot of styles of a lot of schools of Yang style will wait on the left hand. It'll be here, then they'll step out, and then the hand will arc up and out Okay, that's fine. It's just not our method necessarily. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull with the left hip. Now, as far as this goes, there's 3 main ways you could do this, and you could kind of flourish it from there to your heart's content. But the simple way is, from here, is just to go straight out. I didn't do any curves, I didn't do any twists. I just went from here to there. It's got to connect though with the turn of the body. So it's got to be there. It can't be like, and then afterwards, or here and then that. It needs to be connected with the turn. That's true of all 3 methods. So the second way is to wrap over the top this way. I'm leading with the pinky, and I'm pushing the hand out as I turn the body, and then with the pinky I hook over the top and then gather the other fingers over it. If you can see that, I'll try and get closer so you can see it. Leads. Okay? The third way, if you are so inclined, sometimes I do it this way too, is we're here, is I'll come in and instead of leading with the pinky, I'll kind of lead with the pinky too, but I'll wrap and pull back, pull out. So I'm there. It's a little different from pulling here. It's more like pulling backward. I don't usually do that, but I've seen people do it, and it's fun. If you like it, go for it. But the typical way I do it is the second method. So I get here, closing the gates here. I'm going to pull the left hip and open, just like that. Now we're halfway there, but we're done with the hard part. Well, almost. So 1, 2, 3, 4 gets us here. 5 is a step. I would say just a step, except nothing is just anything in Tai Chi. So we're going to move the foot across the line. It's already out here. I'm not stepping it that direction. I'm moving it back like that. But you never just move something, you know. So what I'm doing is I'm sinking a little bit and opening up the quad just a little in order to facilitate that step. But I'm not really doing anything with the hands so much as except just letting them sink with the body. So I'm here, and now I'll sink a little bit. You see that? My body will sink down to standing leg just a little. Okay. Then 6 is shift over. Now the thing about this is I'm not turning yet. I don't want to turn because I'll yank that knee. So on this move, I'm just sliding over and dropping my weight down into the left leg. So I'm also not trying to make a big swoosh with my left arm. When I did this part here, I set my elbow down and I have this angle, and I'm going to try and imagine I'm wedging the arm out as I shift. So I do this step. Now as I shift, this is like a wedge cross intersecting something that's coming in. So rather than knocking something away, I'm driving a wedge. Okay? Now when I've got my weight here, or better than 50% here, I can then pick up my right toes, and now we're ready for the 7th thing, which is to pull the left hip back. Pull the left hip back and close the left quad to keep the knee in alignment. Hold the right quad steady. Because as I pull the left hip back, if I just hold the right quad, right hip joint steady, it will turn that right foot up to 45. Okay? So you're closing the left side, leaving the right side just to follow the motion. So I've shifted and done the wedge. As I do that, I'm going to drop my left elbow a little bit. Okay? So let me get this hand out of the way so you can see the left elbow here. So you see how that elbow drops a little? And I'm dropping it towards my own hip. Okay? So as I turn, I'm also sinking down into the left side, and that sink helps drop the elbow. Okay? So with this hook here, it might block your view of that, so I just wanted to show that detail. So we've slid over, pick up the right toes, pull the left hip. Okay, the very last thing is I'm going to pull the right hip and drop my weight down. So I'm just going to go like that. I'm not pulling out too far. You'll twist your knees. So I'm only pulling, here I've squared my hips up down the line. I'm only pulling to there. My center line is actually splitting the angle between my feet. I have a 45-degree angle between my feet, and I'm going to 22.5 exactly, give or take 10 degrees. So it's roughly, but it's roughly splitting the angle of your feet, and it's there. And what is happening is at the same time I'm sinking, and that's going to settle the palm where I'm not with the center of the palm. I'm not striking with pericardium 8. I'm striking with the heel and edge butt end of the hand right there. And it's from here, it's turn and drop that in place. So there's a little bit of a settle like this. Okay? The hook is, we're using that turn of the body to pull the hook, actively pull the hook back a little bit. Don't way over here, but it's not just passively floating around riding with your body. You want to feel like there's this opening and separation there a little bit. So there's this constant open and close going on. Okay, so I'm just going to do this from this angle, and I'm going to turn around and face the other way and do it from that angle so you can follow along, but without talking. Okay, so. Okay, from this angle. All right, so there's some details on single whip.